Briony Rose Smith live in the Forbidden Library. Welcome everyone. It is Sunday. Sunday. The spreadsheet is here. Good news, everyone. I have read books. Yay! Yay! Can't. Both hands, please. There we go. Nope. Still. There we go. A third dimension. Not one, not two, but 3 dimensions. Indeed. It's very exciting. Hello, everyone. Scroll up, make sure I say hello to everyone. Grey Cloak, I'm pretty sure you already followed me, but, you know, thanks for following back, I guess, if you left. Hello, Nimby. Hello, howdy. Benjamin! Thank you so much for your order on my merch. I will be sorting that out tomorrow, and it will be delivered sometime next week. I will be posting it sometime next week. Look forward to it. Thank you so much. You're the first person who ordered my sticker set. So yeah, I'm excited to do the rolls for that. You'll see that tomorrow. Hello people, hello howdy, hello Jet Excalibur, hello Native Gamer, hello Exnum, hello Normal Size Phantom, and I think that's everyone. Hello anyone looking, hello anyone voting, hello Boris! 3D, it's not like she's 3D once a week or anything. Anyway, I read 5 things. 5 whole things. I can wave at you again because I read 4D. I don't know how I do that. Could we do a smell? No, smell-o-vision's not the way we want to go, really. Jump straight to 5D. Just like crawl out of your PC and go like, hello, I'm here to steal your tea. Do you have any yarn? I would like to crochet. Grandma invasion. Here for your tea, your chocolate, and your yarn. 60 Briony when we all become Briony, emerge in the Briarverse. Yes. Briony's at 1. Briony's together strong. Anyway. The Briony Hive, man. Grandma Roni. Yeah, it's like a much more wholesome version of the ring. Get Briony to try 5D chess or 4D golf. Yes. I know about 5D chess. I've seen some people play it and I do not understand. Into the Brionyverse. It's just me with all my different outfits separately. Right. Things I read. 1. I finally got through the 3rd case book, which is great because I'm currently reading the 2nd one as an audiobook, so I kind of needed to read the 3rd one. So it is 273, and it's called They Still Call Me Princess. Wait, no, that's book 2. Book 3 is My Name is Princess Case. Yeah, it's got a lot of politics. Yay! It's got complicated politic nonsense. Yay! It's 5D chess politics nonsense, yeah. All possible cheeses in the single cheese. 5D chess, not cheese. I got you on the cheese. Yeah, big politics. A novel. My name's not Princess Case. Well, it kind of is because I voice her in the audiobook, so I kind of am Princess Case. I'm her voice actress. I am sometimes Princess Case. But I am not Princess Case. I believe the next one is called My Name is Still Princess Case, and then the next one is called I'm a Little More Than Princess Case, which I think is really cool. So that was by P.D. Ball. It is a series, and I read this in 2025. Yes. Next, let's go through... Oh, no, there's one more actual book. Let's put the actual book in there. It's gay. Are we ready for slightly spicy gay. I don't tend to read spicy books, but this one, it was kind of fine until the end, and once they did it once, they did it a lot. Warning for gay lesbian spice. It was called 274 One Last Stop. It was very good. It's very sweet. It's about a lady. She moves to New York, and she goes in the subway and meets another pretty lady, and they get talking, and they start falling in love, and it's very cute, and yeah, it's good. I don't want to say more than that, because I didn't go in knowing much, and it was kind of fun what happened, so I don't want to say. It's got lots of lovely found family, very LGBT, not even just with the main characters, like generally the whole LGBT scene is in there somewhere, basically. The lesbians doing the things, being the gay lesbians. How many trains are there? There's one train a lot. Well, there's a couple of other trains. It's all subway trains. But there's one particular line they're on a lot, for reasons. It was by a lady called Casey McQuiston. Casey McQuiston, thank you, lady, for your lovely work. Letters gay combinato sandwich. Yeah, found family, lesbian romance, little bit of fun fantasy sprinkled in, a little bit of magic. We like a little bit of magic. I've had a conundrum lately. When I've gone into bookshops, and I'm like, what is the difference between the fiction section and the fantasy section? Because I read a book about a magic cat that goes round and saves books. But that was in the fiction section, not the fantasy section. And this book would be in the fiction section over the fantasy section, but it clearly has some kind of like magical elements. Fiction, no dragons. Fantasy, dragons. I see. Good distinction. It really confuses me. Fantasy has the medieval vibe. I see. So urban fantasy? When it's modern fantasy? So Dresden. Harry Dresden. He would be in the fantasy section, wouldn't he? But he's an urban fantasy man. So should he not be in fiction, technically? Or is that too much? Is there like a threshold of so much magic? Too much magic and like, nope, fantasy. I don't know. Kind of like how many bookstores has a separate section for fiction and horror, and just has some horror books in the fiction section. Yeah, I'd say generic fantasy has enough books in it to be its own thing. It's gotta be hard to like. Literature is entirely off vibes. You're not wrong, cause like it's gotta be hard to put stories into boxes like that. Genres are always a bit weird. Like how we've got young adult and new adult now. Because we were like, we like young adults, but we don't want to read about actual children anymore. Can they be actual adults? Can they be actual young adults, not kids that are not quite adults? It's always bothered me. Anyway, so let's go to the comic books! So literally just before this stream, I finished reading DC Sonic issue 5, the second to last issue, which I'm very sad about. It was very good. If you would like to see some pictures from this issue, join the Discord. You could read an adult book. One Last Stop is an adult book. At the end, anyway. Amy and Wonder Woman are literally the cutest thing in the world. They have, like, just the cutest little panels together, and they don't even really have that much dialogue, but they show the friendship these two have built so much. It's so cute! Yeah. 276. I read the last issue of the Great British Bump Off. 3, which was about a feud between two quilting craft stores. It's kind of how, despite having dragons, magic, and kings, you would not classify Game of Thrones and Chronicles of Narnia in the same section. That's true, because it's very different age groups, isn't it? That's very true. It is the cutest thing! They are so cute together. Series it means a bad spelling of series. It basically means it's a series. Oh, and I should put series complete on it. Or standalone. It's just so I can do some nice pie charts at the end of the year. Yeah, it's just my bad spelling. It just means series. I'm waiting for the publication of virtual YouTubing for dummies. Oh my god, it will be. It'll be real. So that was a comic. I'm gonna just copy and paste the guys here. And this was only 3 issues. It's good. Good little fun. I was a bit sad that there wasn't any murders because it was called Bump Off, but, you know, there wasn't actually any murder. But what was in there was funny and the art was beautiful and it was a good time. I had a good time. I've done that one. What is that? Why do I have that there? 1 second. I'm sorry. I've just noticed something. I don't know why it's there. I can't reach. Oh, why are these comic books there? Oh, that's seasons and so. Ah, I know why that's there. Anyway. I just saw some things, like some comics that were out of their usual hole, and I was like, wait, why are you there? 0 trains. That is true. There was a canal. There was a canal boat. There was boats, no trains. This is also a series that hasn't had any trains in yet. Well, actually, no, I think it has had a train in it. At least one. 275. The Seasons. This one's issue 6. This one's about a creepy carnival that is after a group of siblings there's 4 of them and they're named after the seasons. And currently, poor old baby Spring is having to do everything because her sisters are unreliable. But it's very good. The art style is very like Tintin. Like the first issue almost feels like Ghibli. It's really cool. Series 25. Out of the books you've read, which one would have been most improved by the addition of a train? I keep going back to Differently Morphous. That was about basically British Men in Black, pretty much. And we know, I think it would have benefited from a train scene. I think most of there was some trains in Percy Jackson, but I do think they would have benefited from a few more trains. Poor old Spring Bringer. She's correct. British humour, yeah. British Bump Off. Great British Bump Off is British humour. Jesus, putting his Thomas the Tank Engine. Okay, one more today. One more. I opened Webtoon again. And I read for 276. I thought my time was up. Chapters 80 to 100. Webtoon. Who was that by? I don't remember. There we go. SC. And that is series complete. There are some extra chapters, but they're just like post-wedding nonsense. I've read the whole thing. It is very cute. I love it. The art was wonderful. Made me happy. Thomas down the cross for six. Imagine being the Big J's triumphant return, not on a donkey, but on a never-seen-before beast of metal that spews forth smoke and screams in a voice heard from thousands of miles away. No worries, native gamer. You don't even have to tell me you're gonna lurk if you don't want to. You could just do exclamation mark lurk if you want. Whatever you feels comfortable. You have a nice lurk. Chill out. While I update... Well, why did I close the spreadsheet before I updated it? I'm going to forget what I needed to write. There we go. Okay. So, books until freedom. Here it is. So that brings us to... not everyone will have the emote though, to be fair. So that's 224? Yeah, that makes sense because I put 5 in and there's a 9, so 24. 9,724, and I should have at least, hopefully, one more done this week. Oh no. I'm reading like 3, I'm like triple wielding books right now. But we're getting there. Right. On to today's main thing. We're reading about the named houses of Pompeii. So I safely assumed these might be the rich people houses, but given one of them was just called House of the Surgeon because they found medical stuff in it, they might not actually be rich people houses, but I suppose the book will tell us. Time to eat the rich, and by eat I mean learn. I know, right? Triple X chapters. What even is that? 35? Chapter 35. The House of Sallust. The House of Sallust received its name from an election notice painted on the outside, in which Gaius Sallustus was recommended for a Sallust. Yeah, absolutely. It's fine, we're just warming up. Munipicinal. You know what that says. I don't have to read it. Yeah, it might not have been his house at all. We just assumed. It has no peristyle, and its original plan closely resembled that of the House of the Surgeon. It was built in the 2nd century BC. The architecture is that of the tougher period, and the well-preserved decoration of the atrium, tablinum, allée, and the dining room, at the left of the tablinum, is of the first style. The pilasters at the entrance of the allée and the tablinum are also unusually well preserved. The house is among the most important for our knowledge of the period which it belongs. Interesting. So this is the house they kind of based a lot of their knowledge on. I don't know. I don't know if he's related to those things. The room on the left... Most certainly. The rooms on the left side were used as a bakery. Those in front were shops, 2 of them. At the time of the destruction of the city, opened into the fauces, and another had 2 rear rooms, one of which was entered from a side street. The rooms at the right were private apartments, added later and connected with the rest of the house only by means of the corridor, which, with the cell designed for the porter, was made over from one of the side rooms of the atrium. Oh, wow! This is a big one. Was the surgeon one that big? Yeah, it kind of was. I think this one's a little bit bigger than the surgeon house. Figs. Yep. Oh my god. Bro owned a mansion. If we leave these groups of rooms out of consideration, it is easy to see that the Tuscan atrium and the apartments connected with it, the tablinum, the allée, and the rooms on the sides, once formed a symmetrical whole. At the rear was a garden on two sides, with a colonnade. A broad window in the rear of the left allée opened into this colonnade, a part of which was afterwards enclosed, making two small rooms. At the end of the latter room a stairway was built, leading to chambers. In the beginning the house had no second floor. Oh. You can get real up close to this fig. It's massive! Where's the shops, you reckon? Is that a shop? That looks like a toilet. It's probably not a toilet. Got an entrance over here. And is this the garden? Probably. There's the huge list of stuff. We got the faucets, the shop openings, the shops, the bakery, the kitchen, the atrium, the anteroom, the allée, the tablinum, the antrum, the colonnade, the garden, the private apartments. So many things. He made his house wide instead of tall. He did. The andron, the wardrobe at the right side of the right allée, and the small room back of it were made out of a square room corresponding in dimensions with that at the other end of the tablinum. The latter was originally entered from the atrium by a door at E, which was closed when the wide door was made at the rear opening upon the colonnade. At the rear of the tablinum is a broad window. In the corner of the garden is an open-air triclinium, over which vines could be trained. There was a small altar nearby. A jet of water spurted from an opening in the wall upon a small platform of masonry. The water was perhaps conducted into the regular basin opposite, the inside of which was painted blue. Only the edges of this portion of the garden, which is higher than the floor of the colonnade, were planted. Steps led to it at F and G. The hearth was placed in the colonnade at the left for the preparation of the viands served in the triclinium. The room at the other end of the garden was connected with the street at the rear by a posticum. Back of it was an open space with remains of masonry, the purpose of which are not clear. He loved his buns so much he gave his house a whole bakery. I mean, I would too. And if I had the money to build a bakery in my house and hire bakers to live there too, I would. Because who doesn't want fresh bread every day? Like well-cooked fresh bread, not like... Not supermarket stuff. And not machine stuff. Tasty bread. Bakers are scientists, magical magicians. Make tasty things. Briony Rose, hirer of baker. The large dining room may once have belonged to the bakery. The anteroom leading to it was made from one side of the rooms of the atrium. The arrangement recalls that of the dining room, of which the plan is given in the fig. This fig. This is the dining room. The dining room has 2 rooms. So much room for the dining. Briony Rose baker employer. Yes! Apparently that fig was quite far forward. Or am I... Oh, no, we've done that bit. No, we went backwards! Bop, 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 bop. We didn't do a thing. We didn't do the thing. There we go. Found it. I know we didn't do the control F. I can't do the control F unless I know what I'm looking for. But I can't remember what I'm looking for most of the time. Salus. Oh my god, Benjamin, you're right. I am smart. Yay! It's fine, we're here. The appearance of the atrium is originally, in its original form, may be suggested by our restoration. The proportions are monumental. The treatment of the entrances... Hello, Doppel! I beg your pardon for my absence from your last streamed gathering. I found myself engrossed in the composition of my narrative. Doppel, you do not need to turn up to every single one of my streams. You are not... I don't know. You just don't have to. It's fine. I don't mind. You got your life to live. 2, you had writer's block, so I'm well excited that you got some of your story down. That's well more important than a silly little VTuber on the internet. So congrats on getting some writing done. Itchy nose. The dining room may once have belonged to... Where was I? Yeah. The appearance of the atrium in its original form may be suggested by our restoration. The proportions are monumental. The treatment of the entrances to the tablinum and the alley, with pilasters joined by projecting entablatures. Severe. Is that the right word? And compulvium increased the apparent height of the room and gave it an aspect of dignity and reserve. At the rear we catch glimpses of the vines and shrubs at the edge of the garden. Painted trees and bushes were also seen upon the garden wall. Aww. Hello, Red, welcome. Attendance is mandatory for a Briony stream, but only for one person. At least one person would be nice. Attendance is not mandatory, but, you know, I would like a little company. All stream absences must be explained with a note from your parent, Dr. Coroner. I think writing is a valid excuse for missing a stream. I do think it is. The series of apartments entered through the room at the right of the atrium present a marked contrast with the rest of the house. They are low, the 8-sided, dark red columns of the colonnade, with their white capitals being less than 10 feet high, and the dark shades of the decoration, which is in the 4th style, upon the black ground, give a gloomy impression to one coming from the atrium, with its masses of brilliant colour. A little company, a little Olympus, yeah! Oh, speaking, well, should I say that now? It's a bit of a distraction. When one doth compose a tome, how many pages doth it typically encompass? I mean, it's varied from book to book, and each book has gotten a little bit bigger, just a little bit bigger each time. I don't know. I'd have to look at my actual documents, because I have no idea off the top of my head. I think the first book was maybe only close to 200 pages. It was very small. Way ahead of you. My descendant will continue watching Briony as well. My descendant, so I hope to live that long. Depends on the size of the page, surely it's fun. Well, I assume it would be like normal book size, so like... I normally format mine for like A5, because that's kind of average book size. I'm gonna look. I was also going to say something else, and I got distracted. So you know how I was saying I don't really want to do exclusive streams so much anymore, because I have very limited time for streaming, and I would rather publicly stream more than privately, than take one of those few slots away for an exclusive stream. What I'm going to do, starting tomorrow, I'm gonna get all of the Patreons, and all of the members, And I'm gonna let you guys suggest and vote for one thing for me to stream that I wouldn't normally stream. So like SCP, Lobotomy Corporation, Minecraft, anything. You guys can even put comments in the chat, under the chat, and you can like those comments as a vote rather than voting on whatever I put on. And then I will do one like suggested stream a month. I think that's a good way to put it, and that will be like everyone can do that, no matter which tier you're at. So look out for that tomorrow. I was not to praise that it is a requirement to remain conversant with your streams. It is not. It is not. You don't have to. Don't listen to them. They're just silly. You do whatever you want to do. I'd rather you guys live your life. I would be very flattered if you would like to read my read my streams. Listen to my streams and things, but if you're busy and you have life going on, then I understand, you know? Not everyone can. So Moongirl 1, according to Amazon, is 201 pages long. Moongirl 2... My stream skipped. I unheard lobotomy. What's going on? So, one of the things I was going to do with... because I don't want to do exclusive streams so much anymore, because I have very limited stream time. So I don't want to take a stream away in order to be exclusive streamed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys recommend stuff to stream and then vote on something to stream, and I will do one stream a month that is just something you guys have told me to stream, whether I like it or not. So yes, assuming I have the budget for the game, or I already own the game, one or the other. Like, we're getting mandatory lobotomy, regular shaped ghost. You could trust me on this about I see. You silly foolish jokesters clown, nerd who else upscaling. Yeah. Moongirl 2 is apparently actually shorter at 149 pages. Sorry, I'm actually very distracted now. I want to know. Moongirl 4 is definitely bigger. That's the biggest one so far. I know, physically. When you hold it, you know. Moon 3 actually might be a bit shorter. Higher or lower on Moon 3? It's higher! It's the biggest one yet! It's 229 pages. And like I said, Moon 4 is definitely bigger. Coming in at, when it loads, 304 pages. Yep, that makes sense. And Moon 5, out of curiosity? I think Moon 5's quite chunky as well. I haven't physically held Moon 5, but it's still chunky. 363! Oh, that would be expensive to publish physically. Anyway, there's your answer. Would it be deemed prudent to espouse the publication of one's literary endeavours upon the platform of Google Books? Yes, why not? Google Books is kind of a pain in the ass to get in, though. It's one of the few that they don't let you in via other platforms. Like, you can't... I'm gonna look for Briony Rose Smith. Am I on there? Books. You have to go, like, specifically to them to get on their platform. But it's difficult to get on Google Books. I haven't managed to myself yet. It's maybe like the only ebook platform I'm not on. There was a small fountain in the middle of the little garden, the rear wall of which is covered by a painting representing the fate of Akiton, torn into pieces by his own hounds as a penalty for having seen Diana at to the bath. At first, the colonnade had a flat roof, with an open walk above on 3 sides, but when the large dining room was constructed, the flat roof and promenade on this side were replaced by a sloping roof over the broad entrance to the dining room. On the outer walls of the sleeping rooms were 2 paintings of similar design, Europa with the bull, Pyrrhus and Helle with the ram, and the rear inner wall of 24 contained... The rear inner wall contained 34 Oh, come on. I can order these words in my brain. We can do this. Whose birthday is it? Hello, I don't usually show up for these streams, but I just wanted to pop in because it's your birthday! It's Elusive Aubergine Man's birthday! Oh, welcome. Happy birthday! Happy birthday to you, Elusive Aubergine Man. I hope you have a good day. Happy birthday to you. He's not so elusive. Hast thou endeavoured to publish upon such a platform thine own self? What manner of requirements doth it render to do so arduous? The problem with Google Books is that they require you to publish with them directly, when most others, there's a company called Drafted Digital, which will distribute your ebook to 90% of ebook platforms on their own. That's fine. Kindle and Google Play are the only ones that don't. And Kindle submissions are rarely... No, not Kindle. Google Books submissions are rarely open. So it's hard to find the opening to begin with, let alone actually get your book in there. They probably will. I haven't checked it in a long time, so it might be different now, but that was the problem I was having when I was looking for it. Do we need to dumb it down a little bit? Okay. The rear inner wall of 34 contained 2 pairs of lovers, Paris and Ellen in the house of Melunius, the Ares and Aphrodite. The room at the corner of the colonnade is the kitchen. The stairway in it led to the flat roof of the colonnade. Is that fine? Is that better paper? Ooh. The atrium at the House of Sallust. Need to dumb it down. Instantly becomes more normal. Yeah, not wrong. Looking through the tablet on the colonnade at the rear into the garden restored. This portion of the house probably dates from the latter part of the Republic. It underwent minor changes in the course of the century during which it was used. Previously, there was all probability a garden on this side into which opened a large window in the rear wall of the right alley, afterwards closed. Your internet connection bunked up. I need to leave the saved data. Fair enough, howdy. Bye-bye. May your internet come back. Please sacrifice a goat to it next time. It's the only way. The changes made in the stately house of the pre-Roman times are most easily explained on the supposition that in it supposition, because I'm guessing it's like to suppose something, but that's not a word we use anymore. I know you're doing the opposite of volunteering normal size phantom, but the changes made in the stately house of the pre-Roman time are most easily explained on the supposition that near the beginning of the empire it was turned into a hotel and restaurant. Oh! At the shop at the left of the entrance opens up the atrium as well as on the street. The principal counter on the side of the fauces. I'm saying that wrong. Like faucets? It's not faucet, is it? And near the inner wall end is a place for heating a vessel over the fire. Large jars were set in the counter, and there was a stone table in the middle of the room. Here edibles and hot drinks were sold to those inside the house as well as to passers-by. The shop at the right of the entrance was connected with the fauces, the atrium, and side room. The number of sleeping rooms had been increased by changes in several of the earlier apartments, and by the addition of a second floor reached by the stairway in room 18. The private apartments were for use of the proprietor, and were guarded against the intrusion of the guests of the inn by the porter stationed at the entrance. Ancient Roman selling Moses supposes his toes are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously. New tongue twister unlocked. That's quite funny that the innkeeper had to protect himself from the inn people. Longitudinal section of the House of Sallust restored. I would say to see that figure, yes. Oh, longitudinal. How vile this varmint vanishes when a video I view is very much I vibe with. It vexes me. Anyway, bye. What a wonderful statement to leave on. At the left, the fauces with the counter of the shop. When the north side of the atrium with the entrance of the left, hello, Eraser, welcome. Vamoosh, you vermin. Pray, what subjects do you typically inscribe on thy parchment? Superhero fantasy is most of my books. I like fantasy mostly. Sometimes a little sci-fi. That tends to be my genres. I'm not much of a romance person, but romance does tend to accidentally happen whether I want it to or not. Characters are just like, can we smooch now, author? And I'm like, okay, fine, you can smooch. What's the lecture about? Pompeii. We're reading a book about Pompeii. Currently we're reading about the House of Sallust. I mean, if all those kung fu moves I watched are accurate, inns are a hotbed for kung fu battles. That's true. Don't leave out the Sonic fanfic. Shh, double-sized fandom. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. Innkeepers never mingle with drunk people, especially if you're the one that got them drunk. True. Romance accidentally happens. I thought you wrote fiction. Verily, thou dost engage in the crafting of fiction as myself. However, it is my usual custom to pen tales of romance. I do like a tale. I like reading a tale of romance. I don't quite like writing them so much. North side of the atrium at the entrance left. The north side of the tablinum, with one of the pilasters at the entrance of the atrium. Lastly, the colonnade at the back and the vine-covered tricilium in the corner of the garden. Ooh, we're going to the House of the Fallen soon. Yay. The explanation is confirmed by the close connection of the bakery with the house, and the use of the open-air tricilium is entirely consistent with it. The arrangement of the house after it had become an inn may be seen in our section. I'm gonna copy that so we can go look at this fig without getting lost. Beep, 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 beep. Ah, this one. Yes. That was literally the one before. What about this? Watch it load. Wine delivery. Is that the fig we wanted? Ah, seen in a wine shop. I don't think that's the fig we wanted. Back to where we were, please. Thank you. As much as I dislike most romance with the fertility crisis in so many places, it's a necessary evil. True. Fun fact, all inns are usually about 7 minutes away from a martial arts fight at any given moment during rush hour. I can believe that. Oh, speaking of which, I do have a PSA for you. Please leave your air fryers at home when you go to hotels. Because you will be reported, just so you know. Just so you know, that's happened a lot recently. So you should do that. Leave your air fryers at home, please. Briony doesn't need to write romance anymore. Now she's found true love. I didn't even I hated romance even more before my fiance. Now I love romance a lot. I was going to say, but it seems like being engaged has suddenly become VTuber popular. I know, right? Nimmy started a thing where everyone's being a bit more honest, and I really appreciate that. Like, because I wanted to be honest and with you guys from the start, really, not really. I didn't want to beat around the bush with it. I hesitated when I was talking about my boyfriend when I started, but no, it's nice to be able to talk about. He's such a big part of my life. It's hard to tell stories about my life without mentioning him. Pray why not? She possesses the capacity to compose one that is entirely drawn from her romantic experience. I'm not sure our romantic experience would be all that interesting. It'd be cute and all. Very gooey, but the true trailblazer. Yeah, I am. They're just like, oh, I'm getting married, and here's me drawing my ring on my models. Verily, adherents gradually diminish to their obscureness in the passage of time. Nimmy, short, engaged, long hair. Briony, short, engaged, long hair. Maybe no wig. Coincidence, I've never seen them in the same room. Ugh. If I could be Nimmy. Are we streaming? Have we streamed at the same time? Have we ever streamed at the same time? There's your evidence if that's the case. Have we ever streamed at the same time? Oh lord, I can hear myself. I just opened something that I don't want to. Shut me. I don't want to hear me. You guys don't want to hear me, but I don't want to hear me. Anyway. Chapter 36, House of the Faun. The House of the Faun, so named from the statue of a dancing satyr found in it, was among the largest and most elegant in Pompeii. It illustrates for us the type of dwelling that wealthy men of cultivated tastes living in the 3rd or 2nd century BC built and adorned for themselves. The mosaic pictures found on the floors are the most beautiful that have survived to modern times, and now in the Naples Museum. Oh, I kind of want to go. Nimmy eats nightmares. Briony haunts mine. Oh lord. There's a lot in this house. The wall decoration, which is of the first style, in the more important rooms was left unaltered to the last, and is well preserved. This decoration, however, does not date from the building of the house. In order to protect the painted surfaces against moisture, the walls in the beginning were carefully covered with sheets of lead before they were plastered. Later, 2 doorways were walled up, and the plastering over the apertures, which was applied directly to the wall surface without the use of lead sheathing, forms with its decoration an inseparable part of that found on either side. When the original decoration was replaced by that which we see on the walls today, it is impossible to determine, but the change must have been made before the 1st century BC. A few unimportant rooms are painted in the 2nd and 4th styles. So this house has been around a lot. This is the true rich person's house. Cultivated taste sounds like a euphemism. That is true. There were a lot of naked figures, and our walk around Assassin's Creed Odyssey definitely told us that. I beseech you, permit me to inquire further. How frequently dost thou engage in retconning thy narrative, post to the completion of thy preliminary draft? Not often, to be honest. I'm usually pretty happy with the first draft. There's one big time in Moon Girl that it's happened. And that's because a lot of the stuff that happened in my fourth book, I planned to happen in my third, but I very quickly realized I was going too fast. So I had to sort of make some more stuff up for the third one to sort of smooth out the pacing a little bit. But mostly I do a lot of outlining before I start, really. I did with my first book. My first book was all vibes. But once I realised I had a series on my hands, I started planning a bit more then. So I usually have the events planned out very specifically. And maybe as I'm drafting, my characters will surprise me with something, and I will like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. But mostly I have everything pretty well pinned down before I start. I am a planner. An entire block measuring 315 by 115 feet is given to the house. There are no shops except the fourth in front. The apartments are arranged in 4 groups. A large Tuscan atrium with living rooms on 3 sides, a large terrace-style atrium with rooms for domestic service around it, and extending on the right side toward the rear of the house, a peristyle, the depth of which equals the width of the large and half that of the small atrium, and a second peristyle occupying more than a third of the block. At the rear of the second peristyle is a series of small rooms, the depth of which varies according to the deviation on the street at the north end of the insula. Doth it weigh heavily upon your considerations to extinguish the lives of certain... Yes, I hate killing characters. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. I hate having to do it. I won't do it unless I really, really have to. I prefer retroactive foreshadowing, but I prefer bottom-up writing, so maybe I would. To be fair, there's some things I've written when I've, like, started... And I'm figuring it out later, and I'm like, oh my god, that's what that means. Like, I didn't even bloody know, but for some reason it makes so much sense! Pray allow me to undertake some investigation into that matter, so as to gain a more profound understanding. By all means. In front of the main entrance, we read the word HAVE! Commonly written as Ave, welcome. Why did you put it in capitals? I had to yell it 1 minute. My nose. Blech. Spelled in the sidewalk with bits of green, yellow, red, and white marble. The street door here, quite exceptionally, was at the outer end of the vestibule. It consisted of 3 leaves, and opened towards the inside, while the double door between the vestibule and the fosses opened towards the outside. The closed vestibule was not unlike those of many modern houses. Fragments of the lintel over the outer door, with its projecting dental cornice. Dental? Teeth? Are preserved in one of the shops. I do apologize for scaring you with my yell. Sometimes you just need to capitalize a random word. You can blame Boris for that one if you did get scared. That's Boris's fault, just so you know. The shops with their upper floors were 19 feet high. When the shutters were up, they presented a monotonous appearance, but on sunny days, when the articles offered for sale were attractively displayed, and buyers and idlers were loitering in front or leisurely passing from one to the other, shops and street alike were full of colour and animation. Facade of the House of the Fawn restored. Ooh, I love these restored pictures. I like getting a really good idea of what this would have looked like, and would have gone in the door and seen all the... I love it. I love imagining it. I love looking outside and being like, that's what it would look like. What if I lived across the road from this? How would that look? The floor of the Fauces, as of many of the other rooms, is rich in colour. It is made of small triangular pieces of marble and slate, red, yellow, green, white, and black. At the inner end, it was marked off from the floor of the atrium by a stripe of finely executed mosaic, suggestive of a threshold, now in the Naples Museum. 2 tragic masks are realistically outlined, appearing in the midst of fruits, flowers, and garlands, in the details of which are worked out with much skill. Look at that! That's a mosaic? Someone did that as a mosaic? There's green marble. Apparently so. Marble and slate. So maybe there's green slate? Question mark? We just have black and white pictures. I would love to see colours of this, to be fair. Oh my god. Oh. No getting distracted. I was going to mention something completely irrelevant then. If I get to tell you guys off for being completely irrelevant, I have to stay relevant too. The walls of the faucets are ornamented in an unusual manner. The ordinary decoration of the first style is carried to the height of 8 feet. Above this, one either side projects a tougher shelf about 16 inches wide, on which is placed a facade of a diminutive temple. That on the left is seen in a fig that I'm gonna click now, la la la. Oh, that fig, the Longian section. Was it? Yeah. But consider, whatever the streamer talks about is the topic. Red Roach, you make a good point. I'm going to show you them. I find myself possessed by a rather unfortunate inclination to pursue my narrative anew upon the conclusion of each chapter. I am most apprehensive of encountering an egregious within the tapestry of my tale. Just need to... For me... I mean, I suppose I'm talking about being distracted, and I'm letting Doppel distract me a lot, because talking about writing is fun, and I don't get to do it that often anymore. My friends that used to write with me, they don't really write anymore, and it's just a little sad. But anyway, you need to start and an end. That's the way I tend to do it. I have my start and my end, and my main events that I need to do, and then that's it. That's all you need. And then I kind of make up the rest as we go along. That's alright, Briony's got... I am God here. Except for the Library Guardian. He's bigger God than me. And the Tea Fairies. I mean, the Tea Fairies have telekinesis, so they're kind of a bigger God than me too. But they don't come on stream, so it's fine. They want to, though. But I've told them they're not allowed. If Briony is God, then how's Thomas the Tank Engine, Jesus? 'Cause I built Thomas the Tank Engine. He is my son. And I sent him to save you from your sins. Me having not much in years. Yeah, it is. I want to start writing again. I was supposed to start at the beginning of the year. And yeah, I feel that. I didn't birth him. I built him. Different. It's different. You can build your children. Just like all my fictional children. This wasn't even anything to do with the tangent I actually wanted to go on. I wanted to go on a tangent of my dad. My dad's birthday's coming up. And I've made him... I'm holding it right now, but you can't see it. You know my little crochet tapestries I was doing? The little guys? The little characters? I made him the Queen band. He loves Queen. In case you didn't already know. I will pass on your happy birthdays. It's not until next week, but I just want to... I'm so proud of what I made him. It's the band Queen. We got Freddie. I will take a picture and show you guys because I'm so proud of it. I haven't quite finished it. I need to cover the back. We got Freddie. We got Brian. We got Roger, and we got John. Queen the band or Queen the Camilla? Queen the band. Queen the band. Queen the band. He is a big fan of Queen the band. Let me take a picture now. See if I can show you. I'm just so proud of it, bro. Dad's friend, who sometimes puts me on when they're out, when they're in. Please turn off the TV. Dad's friend, if you are watching at my parents' house, please turn off the TV. I repeat, please turn off the TV. And mute me, so my dad doesn't find out what I made him. He doesn't watch my streams, so we should be okay. But I know one of Dad's friends does. So please don't ruin the surprise for my dad, okay? Are we clear, Dad's friend? Are we clear? Dad's friend about to be off. No, we're just calling him Dad's friend. That's all. He'll know. I'm not gonna name names. My tendency for procrastination doth oft hinder my progress. Oh, yeah, I do. I have a dice. I will not explain to him what an Oshi is, just for the record. He will never know. I don't think I could. But be like, oh, Dad, someone called you their Oshi. And he's like, what the fudge is an Oshi? It's like, it means wife. You'd be like, what? Kinda means wife, kinda not. I don't know. It means you're their idol. I'll be your idol. Here it is! I just took a picky for you now. Look at them! I'm so proud. Yeah, look at Queen. Queen the Chibbies. And like I said, I need to cover the back, so all those strings you can see coming out, you won't see them anymore. But that's it. I'm so proud of myself. Just wanted to share. Imagine your dad asking about these new terms from his friend. I'm not sure his friend is a big VTuber watcher. He just knows about my channel and wanted to support because he's a good guy. Wow, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I wanted to show you because I was excited. Now I'm very distracted. Oh Lord, she's distracted today. She's got a soup brain today. Her brain is tomato soup. Tomato soup is tasty. La la la. Where were we? Let's read. Supposed to be reading, everyone. Read, okay? Reading. Very important. Oh, tomato soup and cheese. Stop it. Stop it. No, wait. You're supposed to chat. But chat is also distracting. The ADHD brain is real today. I have never been confirmed diagnosed as ADHD, but nothing shows it more than my streams, does it? I could just show this to the doctor. It's like, hey, here you go. What would you diagnose me with after watching this stream? Tomato, toast, cheese on soup. I mean, cheese on soup's not bad, because it would just melt into the soup, but tomato toast, probably not bad, actually, either. Mission distract party accomplished. Bastards. The atrium was a room of imposing dimensions. The length is I don't think that's where we're up to, because I don't remember reading Shape of Dogs. I'm in love with the shape of dogs. They're just so fluffy and so cute. La 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 la. Do you guys get together on a secret Discord and be like, we're gonna really distract her today? Kami Oshi doth signify thine unwavering support for the individual above all others whom thou dost ordinarily favour. Induce Absolutely, that is a very wonderful description of Kamiyoshi. To be fair, that mission is basically tutorial. You're not wrong. But you're not kind. The shelf is supposed underneath a cornice which rested originally on stucco brackets in the love of the shape of dogs. The underside is carved to represent a richly ornamented coffered ceiling. The atrium was a room of imposing dimensions. The length is approximately 53 feet, the breadth 33. The height, as indicated by the remains of the walls and the pilasters, was certainly not less than 28 feet. Above was a coffered ceiling, the sombre shade of the floor paved with small pieces of dark slate, formed an effective contrast with the white limestone edge and brilliant inner surface of the shallow impulvium, covered with pieces of coloured marbles similar to those in the fauces. Still more marked with the contrast in the strong colours of the walls. Below was a broad surface of black, then a projecting white dental cornice, and above this masses of dark red, bluish green, and yellow. The decoration, as usual in the first style, was not carried to the ceiling, but stopped just above the side doors. The upper part of the wall was left in white. So you can tell this is a fancy house. And it's an old fancy house, because it's all colourful. The Romans hadn't made everything white yet. Secret Discord, we just do it under your nose and you're... I check all the messages in my own Discord, so unless you delete them very, very quickly. But even if you delete it in my Discord, I still see it in my notifications, so just so you're aware of that. I still get notified, even if you delete it really fast. All these fancy houses and not one widescreen TV. I know, right? Why even have a big house if you can't have a big TV? Regardless of whether they're invented or not, that's just, what's the point? How are you supposed to watch VTubers without a big TV? As one stepped across the mosaic border at the end of the fauces, a beautiful vista opened up before the eyes. Before the aperture of the compulvium, diffused light was spread through the atrium, brilliant with its rich colouring. At the rear of the lofty entrance of the tablinum, attracted the visitor by its stately design. Now the portieres are drawn aside, and beyond the large window of the tablinum, the columns of the first style are seen. The shrubs and flowers of the garden are bright with sunshine, and fragrant odours are wafted through the house. In the midst of a slender fountain, jet rises in the air and falls with a murmur pleasant to the ear. If the vegetation was not too luxuriant, one might look into the etc. on the further side of the colonnade, and even catch a glimpse of the trees and bushes in the garden of the second peristyle. You can tell when we stumble upon Mr. August Mao's favourite sections, and this is it. He loves this place. This is his favourite. Fun fact, if the Romans owned a PS5, they'd have as much use for it as we do. Correct. We use a secret communication channel granted by the Guardian of the Forbidden Library. Fuck. I didn't know he had access to my Discord. Shit. I mean, it's called the Forbidden Library. I guess he's like the ultimate admin. So, yeah, that makes sense. God damn it, guys. Clearly, colours are rare and only for the wealthy because they had to be handcrafted and imported from Italy. Most likely, yes. When you start writing about your hyperfixations. Correct. Of the rooms at the side of the atrium, one was apparently the family sleeping room. Places for 2 beds were set off by slight elevations in the floor. This room had been carefully redecorated in the second style. the room opposite, the decorations of which was inferior to that of the rest, was perhaps used by the porter. The tablinum, like that of the house of Sallust, had a broad window opening in the colonnade of the peristyle. In the middle of this room, a rectangular section paved with lozenge-shaped pieces of black, white, and green stone. The rest of the floor is of white mosaic. The floor of each ala was ornamented with a mosaic picture. In that at the left are doves pulling a necklace out of a casket, a work of slight merit. Oh, he called it mid! You could also tell when he dislikes something. You must take your leave forthwith. You are encumbered with various errands to attend to, and you extend your heartfelt gratitude for thy wise counsel. It hath proven exceedingly beneficial. I'm glad to help. I'm always happy to help out and give writing advice whenever. I'm not... I don't want to say that I am an expert, but I guess I have some books out, so I have some wise words. Have a wonderful time, Doppel, and may your various errands encumber you less in the future. Not betraying my interests and priorities, but if I had to describe Roman beds... But has he described Roman beds yet? They're like modern beds. No, I don't think he's described the bed specifically yet. Oh, so this is a longitudinal of the House of the Fawn. This is a long-ass house! So vestibule, faucets, the Tuscan atrium with compulvium and impulvium, the ala, the tablinum, the first peristyle, colonnade, and fountain basin, etc., and the corner of the second... Jesus, this is a big house! Good lord! And with Benjamin, I want to judge Romans in how many pillows they have, especially if they're a bunch of unnecessary pillows. I do hate the unnecessary pillows. I hate it when you see like a picture of like a house, like a showroom one, and they have like your 4 pillows, which you'd expect on a double bed specifically. And then they have like 2 extra small pillows, and then like one of those long round pillows as well. Get them out of here. You don't need those. They're just gonna go on the floor. It's silly. Maybe they invest in knee pillows. Knee pillows is a good shout. I think they need to be normalized, I'm not gonna lie. Probably help my body. Every individual organ in the human body requires its own separate pillow. We have a lot of organs. That's a lot of pillows. But we have one they all share. One really big one. It's called the mattress. Roman beds are like normal beds, but if you don't sleep at night, it has a tendency to go roaming around. It's very silly. That didn't deserve the laugh I gave it. But I love stupid puns, so, you know, she laughs anyway. If a bed is 90% pillows, you don't have a bed. If you have 2 beds, you have 2 beds with no pillows. True. The mosaic picture found in the right ala is characterized by delicacy of execution and harmonious colouring. It is divided into 2 parts. Above is a cat with a partridge, below ducks, fishes, and shellfish. A large window in the rear of the ala opens into the small atrium, not for the admission of light, but for ventilation. In summer, there would be a circulation of air between the 2 atriums. I'd like to double check the math on that. Bring me the pillows! 2 doors at the right and the left of the tablinum opened into large dining rooms, one nearly square, the other oblong. Both had large windows on the side of the peristyle, and the one at the left also a door opening upon the colonnade. The mosaic pictures in the floors harmonized well with the purpose of the rooms. In one were fishes of various kinds, and sea monsters. In the other was the picture, often reproduced, in which the genius of the atrium is represented as a vine-crowned boy sitting on a panther and drinking out a deep golden bowl. The colonnade of the first peristyle was of one story. The entablature of the well-proportioned Ionic columns present a mixture of styles, often met with Pompeii, a Doric frieze with a dentile cornice. The wall surfaces were divided by pilasters and decorated in the first style. In the middle of the garden, the delicately carved standard of a marble fountain basin may be seen. Pillows for the pillow cart, duvets for the duvet throne. And all of them, all sacrifices to the pillow fort. And the blanket fort. You thought Freze was pronounced freeze? Maybe. Freeze sounds right. You're probably right. I do best. I lay into my bed, but it's made of like 30 throw pillows, and I sink into it like a foam pit, never to surface to tomorrow until the alarm gets me. That sounds glorious in its own terrible way. Golden bowl. Marble fountain, still be seen. Yes, this is where it's up to. The open front of the broad, etc., was adorned with 2 columns. At the rear was a window extended almost from side to side, opening upon the second peristyle. Between the 2 columns, the entrance were mosaic pictures of the creatures of the Nile, hippopotamuses. Hippopotamus, crocodile, ichinumon, and ibis. And in the room, filling almost the entire floor, was the most famous of ancient mosaic pictures, the battle between Alexander and Darius. Hippopotamus. It sounds like that cat, you know, the spinning cat that goes. Yeah, it sounds like that. I want hippopotamus for Christmas. You want to be? They're very scary creatures, you know. Hippopotamus. Their mouths are like. You mean Rara? Yeah. No, but yeah. Their mouths, the like the force of their jaw is like. Oh, what's the thing? A press. Industrial press. They have these big flat teeth to grind people up in them like a fucking industrial press. It's terrifying. Hippopotamuses are big and scary. They can crush a watermelon like a tomato. I know, Ron. But this is the hippopotamus. I just wanted the hippopotamus. They can crush a watermelon with these. I know, right? It's terrifying. Terrifying. This great composition has so often been reproduced that we need not present it here as illustrating the style and treatment. However, we give a small section in which the face of Alexander appears. The mosaic is a reproduction of a painting made either in the lifetime of Alexander or soon after his death. The battle is perhaps that of Issus. The left side of the picture is unfortunately only in part preserved. At the head of the Greek horseman rides Alexander, fearless, unhelmeted, leading a charge against the picked guard of Darius. The long spear of the terrible Macedonian is piercing the side of a Persian noble, whose horse sinks under him. The driver of Darius's chariot is putting the lash to the horses, but the fleeing king turns with an expression of anguish and terror to witness the death of his courtier. The mounted noblemen about him being panic-stricken at the resistless onset of the Greeks. The regrouping of the combatants, the characterization of the individual figures, the skill in which the expressions upon the faces are rendered, and the delicacy of colouring gives this picture a high rank among ancient works of art. The colours in the mosaics are necessarily more subdued than in the original painting. Well, yeah, that would make sense. To be fair, it's basically the most famous depiction of Alexander. It is! As soon as, like, I wouldn't be able to picture it if they told me about it, but as soon as I see that picture, I'm like, oh, yeah, I've seen that. I remember that. I've seen that in a history book somewhere. Hippo children play with adult crocodiles because the giant water lizards are too scared to move. Crocodiles are cool, though. They're so big. I don't know. I just think they're cool. I don't really have anything to add about that. I just think crocodiles are cool. I think the water dinosaurs are great. They're terrifying, but they aesthetically please me. Alexander, having thrown aside his helmet, is leading the charge upon the guard of Darius, who is already in flight. Can you take a break? Sure, sweetie, you take a break. You deserve it. You worked hard. You listened to me rant about nonsense. You can take a break. Take a break whenever you want, honey. Much cooler than the land dinos. Yeah, the land dinos are... What I'm realizing the more I talk about animals is I'm scared of a lot of animals. Cause chickens can be really violent, can't they? I've seen very angry chickens before. If scary, why nose big? Checkmate. Yes, nose big, big nose. Oh, I don't know what it is about alligator that makes me very happy. I see one, I'm like. Look at the big boy with the big mouth. Nom, nom, nom. He gonna eat. He gonna eat everyone. It's gonna be great. A corridor, both ends of which could be closed, led from the first to the second peristyle. The columns here of the Doric order were of brick with tougher capitals, the shaft being edged, not fluted. The entablature rested on a line of timbers, as often in the buildings of the tougher period. In our restoration, an upper colonnade of the Ionic order is assumed, extending about the four sides. The restoration is here possibly at fault. The colonnade may have been in 2 stories only on the south side, with twice as many columns above as below. On either side of the etc. were 2 dining rooms, one open in its entire breadth upon the second peristyle, the other having a narrow door with 2 windows. The fine mosaic picture in I was found in so damaged a condition that the subject, a lion standing over a prostrate tiger, could not be made out, until a duplicate was discovered in 1885. I was literally about thinking in that sentence, like, so how do you know what's in there if you couldn't read it? And then they found a duplicate, so it's fine. According to Wikipedia about the Alexander mosaic, the mosaic is made of about 1.5 million tiny coloured tiles. Holy duck! That must have taken forever. And then to, like, keep it in plan, I know we were just talking about trying to keep, like, your book plan together. Could you imagine? Tiny, oh. The skill, the dedication, the talent. Ancient people are scary. Everything's scary. I'm saying everything's scary. Why am I saying everything's scary? Ancient people are incredible. That's what I should be saying. Gotta go eat my bread. Apparently a lot of them put their dining rooms outside. They either put them upstairs or outside. In the sleeping room on the other side of the corridor, which had been redecorated in the second style, remains of 2 beds were found. The room next to it was the largest in this part of the house. At the time of the eruption, it was without decoration and was used as a wine cellar. A great number of amphorae were found in it, as also in both peristyles. One of the small rooms at the rear was perhaps occupied by the gardener. The one next to it was the doorkeeper's room. At V is a long, shallow niche designed for statues. Nearer the corner were 2 smaller niches, each of which was ornamented in front with pilasters and a gable. These were the shrines of the household gods. In front of them were found 2 bronze tripods, 2 bronze lampshades, 2 pairs of iron tongs, and a couple of common lamps, and the remains of a branch of laurel, which the bones and eggs of a dove that had nested in it. A bronze statuette of a genius was found seemingly in one of the niches. Fascinating. They had way too much time on their hands. They could have been watching VTubers if only they bothered to invent electricity, computers, cameras, internet, etc., etc. That's true. But they didn't need to make mosaic work of art, so they could have just made the internet, you know. Didn't have no cocomelon or samiko saba in the old days. You could get anything. Are you saying I'm in the way of you achieving your dreams? Because if that's the case, get out. Go achieve your dreams. Because that's what I'm here to encourage you to do. That's what I'm doing. We're having fun. We're going to achieve our dreams. The domestic apartments were entered by a front door between the 2 shops at the right. The vestibule, unlike that of the other entrance, is open to the street. The fauces being narrower and deeper. The relation of the terrace style to the Tuscan atrium is indicated in our transverse section. The alae are here at the middle of the sides. The one at the left served as a passageway between the 2 atriums. The 4 tougher Corinthian columns, nearly 20 feet high, are well preserved, as well as the pilasters at the entrance of the alae. A tablinum was not needed in this part of the house, and the space which it might have occupied was given to the andron and a sleeping room opening on the first peristyle. My dream is to watch VTubers. No, I do not know what parasocial means. Whatever dream you want, I guess. A dream's a dream. And you know what is also a dream? To be able to see what I'm doing, because it's gotten dark. Ugh. Hey, my model's not freaking out too badly. That's nice. Da-da-da. Dark mode initiated. I was rolling on some paper. Because obviously I am a very tidy person and my office is incredibly tidy and you will know no different. Got a dream. You got a dream after Scary Movie 3? Oh my god, the scary movies. Oh, I don't remember a lot of them. I've watched a lot of them, but they blur. You should wish for something. You should wish to bake a cake. Start small. This part of the house was much damaged by the earthquake of '63, and there are many traces of repairs, particularly in the upper rooms. The walls were simply painted in the fourth style. 2 money chests stood on large flat stones in the rear corners of this atrium. Imagine the Praetorian Guard flipping on the Emperor because he insulted his unit's cameo shit. Oh god, I mean, could we do that now? Can we start a rebellion against governments via YouTube VTubing? I mean, that's a one-way ticket to get us banned, but you know, society's naff, and you know, maybe I don't have the following, but someone does. Can we improve society? Caesar said Marine was mid, and that's why Brutus stabbed him. Yeah, no one said that. We live in a society. We do. We absolutely do. Brutus was so real for that. Honestly, Caesar should have known better. In one of the rooms at the front, there are traces of shelves. Stairs at one side led to the upper rooms at the left of the atrium, the shape and size of which are indicated in that fig. On the right, also, there were small chambers over G, H, and H with a dash, on the same level as the second floor of the shop in the front, and accessible only by means of the stairway in this shop. There were no other stairs in this corner of the house, and these rooms could not have been connected with chambers over other parts of the atrium, because there were no upper rooms over the faucets and the right alar. Another stairway in D, partly of wood, led to chambers over I, D, N dash, N, O, O dash, and part of the kitchen M. I feel like I was speaking some kind of code. Romulus killed Remus because they disagreed over Fuoco. Real man. Caligula. I anti-Fuoco gets stabbed immediately. Is this not fact? Is this not historical fact we are learning right now? Bronze vessel and remains of ivory feet belonging to a bedstead. Sorry, I saw ivory feet and I was like, why did someone carve feet out of ivory? But it meant furniture feet. Were found in the double room, but it is more likely that this was used as a storeroom for discarded furniture than that members of the family slept here. A long corridor at the end of the first peristyle connected the rooms at the right of the small atrium with the closet, the bath, the kitchen, and the large bedroom. Opening on the second peristyle, the rooms of the bath, tepidarium, and caldarium were provided with hollow floors and walls, and were heated from the kitchen, into which the draught vents opened. In order to make the smoke less objectionable, the kitchen was built very high with several windows. We assume it's furniture feet, but if it was the other kind, that's the kind of room I'd hide them in. I mean, yeah, I guess you'd want to hide them in the storeroom, make sure no one sees it. It's like, yep, this is my ivory feet. We have them for reasons. The kitchen is of unusual size. A niche for the images of the household gods was placed in the wall at the left, so high up that it could only have been reached by means of a ladder. The front is shaped to resemble the facade of a small temple, and in it is a small altar of terracotta for the burning of incense. The first room at the right of the corridor was completely excavated in 1900 and found to be a stall. In it were brought to light the skeletons of 2 cows and 4 human beings, an adult and 3 children. They huddled with the cow at the end. It's kind of sad, bro. That's gotta be some kind of error. I don't think that's a chapter title. I think it should be chapter 30. Well, 310, technically, yes. 37. It's kind of interesting that they have mini temples around the house, as if that particular architecture is required for the gods. Yeah, that's a good point. And now we have the House of Porta Marina. It's an artistic liberty. Yeah, most of the stories. We do dislike the Romans for Roman numerals, like, bro. They're annoying. Okay, not a big one. The height of the 48% of the way through. I'm sorry, I realized it was 80% of the way through. Because I'm pretty sure we start... Oh, to be fair, we've done 2%. I thought we'd only done 1% so far. But we've done 2%. What did the Romans ever do for us? Nothing, bro. Nothing. They didn't invent loads of things and basically become the basis of Western civilization. Nothing! When we hit 50%, I don't know. Yeah, oh, oh no, what? I almost don't want aka Ak. Okay, Reza, bye! Have a nice night! You should commit. Like I said, at 50%, we might swap to another book, and we'll probably come back to the rest of this book at some point. We have the reading list to go through. Look at this. The reading list. The height of the important rooms can be accurately determined in so few houses of the tougher period. But special importance attaches to a house on the edge of the city north of Porta Marina, in which not merely the three-quarter columns at the entrance of the tablinum, but also the pilasters at the corners of the fauces and the alae, and part of the Ionic columns of the peristyle are seen in their full height. The atrium is the best preserved of any in the large pre-Roman houses, and the height of the ceiling in several of the adjoining rooms is clearly indicated. The house lies about 70 paces north of the Strada della Marina, on the last street leading to the right. It is without a name and is seldom visited. So it's a house near Porta Marina, so this is just a particularly interesting house. Neither the decoration, renewed in the second style and without paintings, nor the arrangement of the rooms requires extended comment. There are two atriums, the smaller, with the domestic apartments being at the left and entered directly from the street. The fauces of the other are with unusual width, being about 2/5 of the width of the atrium. The alae are at the middle of the sides, as in the house of Epidus Rufus, and the small atrium of the house of the Faun. And the smaller atrium of the house of the Faun. At the sides of the tablinum are large windows opening into two dining rooms, which are entered from the peristyle. More than a third of the plot enclosed by the peristyle is taken up by a deep rectangular basin for fish. At the rear are apparently other rooms, adjusted to the slope of the ground, which, however, have not yet been excavated. Might be excavated now, though! Check out this house. It is important. No, I'm just hyperfixated. You get it! Like, August Mao, like, if I get anything from this book, it's that Mr. August Mao really likes talking about Pompeii, and I love listening to people talk about the things they love to talk about. So it's great. More than a third of the plot enclosed by the peristyle is taken up by a deep rectangular basin for fish. At the rear are apparently other rooms. Apparently, we don't know. Adjusted. Oh, yeah. I just read that one. It will perhaps be easier to appreciate the stately character of the pre-Roman atriums if we give a few dimensions which were used in making our restoration. The atrium is 41 by 29 feet. The tablinum is 13 feet 9 inches between the 3/4 columns which stand. In place of the usual pilasters at the entrance, it is thus half as wide as the atrium. The height of the tablinum at the entrance is 18 feet 6 inches. According to the proportions given by Vitruvius, it should be 15 feet 4 inches. The alae and the fosses, also exceeding the dimensions presented by the Roman architecture, the former being 12.5 feet wide and 12 and 3/2 wide, and 16.25 feet high, while the height of the broad fosses, 17.5 feet, only a trifle less than that of the tablinum. The height of the walls of the atrium is easily determined with the help of the data before us, and the arrangement of the roof over the fauces, atrium, tablinum, and colonnade of the peristyle must have been very similar to that shown in our restoration. The entablature seen over the entrance of the left ala is restored in accordance with the architectural forms commonly used in the period when the house was built. I understand him on a deep level. My friend sent me a meme of a plane, and I spent half an hour looking it up in my reference books, confirming the type, the specific model, and writing up exactly why I could. I could reverse image search or ask him, but I choose. It's more fun! It's more fun! Life is all about the little joys you find, and if you find joy looking up that plane in your books, then that is the joy you find. Why the meme was factually inaccurate. Both the 3/4 columns and the pilasters present a peculiarity of construction found also in other houses, but not easy to explain. The former appear as half columns on the side of the tablinum, but present fully 3/4 of their breadth on the side of the atrium. The pilasters at the entrance of the alae and fauces have on the side a good proportion, the breadth being about 1/8 of the height, but on the outside towards the atrium they are much more slender. Oh, so they have like interesting columns that are like thinner and thicker on two sides, or maybe like different height. That's fascinating. You've done that before. I find joy in boring stuff, like collecting Blu-rays and DVDs and reading about the history of samurai movies. This is not boring stuff. If you find joy in it, then it ain't boring, is it? You're having a good time, that's all that matters. I'll post the image right up. I'm proud of it because you couldn't see the thing. Do it. Show and tell is meant for things like this. For you guys to go, hey look, a plane. And everyone's like, wait, a plane. We could all share our hyperfixations together. Yay! A well-designed scroll pattern appears in the black and white mosaic floor of the fosses, which is often in Pompeian houses, slopes greatly towards the street. The floor of the atrium is made of black mosaic, with pieces of coloured marble arranged in rows, and white stripes at the edges. The base of a shrine for the household gods stands against the right wall. In the first room at the right was an alcove for a bed opposite the door. The ceiling of the alcove, in the form of a vault, was lower than that of the rest of the room. How big is the next section? Fairly big. But the next section does get us to 50. This is our last bit. I don't know if I can read it all today. Pieces of coloured marble. The Romans liked the white stripes. They did. Romans like the white, like when you see like the white marble and stuff, that seems to be more of a Roman thing. Which we do. We do. Romans like their white, but it's kind of interesting that it wasn't their only option. They could have been prettier or more colourful. But no. No, they wanted it white. Like Apple, they want to make everything the same colour and uniform and awful. Oh, we only have 10 minutes left. I want to start the next section. Because it's a big section. And we may as well leave it till next week. It's easier. It's easier for me when I started a section. So, I want your thoughts while I have you. Let me get a new text box open. So, as I said before, I'm going to be replacing my exclusive streams with a vote for a irregular stream. So I thought I'd get some suggestions from you guys. So the idea will be for members and Patreons to vote every month. So obviously this list will change, but this is the point of the list. Things I have. SCP reading. Because everyone loves the SCP readings. That is not SCP. That is SQP. The CP reading. Minecraft. I have not been on Minecraft again for a long time. Lobotomy Corp. Because I won't get round to that for a long time. So, like, you're free to vote on that one. I know you guys are excited for that one. What have I got that I could put on there? This vote might be put up tomorrow. It might be put up Tuesday, just so you're aware. It might not be put up straight away. There's a couple I'm already planning on streaming, so I'm going to leave them off, just because I would like to do it as not a one-off. I guess you guys could force me to play Elden Ring. I don't want to play Elden Ring again, but you guys have the power to force me to do so. Horror game, I guess. I don't really like it, but that's the point of you guys having power. Pot Grey Cloak. Why would you posture me like that? Fine. I'm postured. You're right, I needed that, but I don't know. So yeah, if you've got any suggestions, I would love to see one-off games like 4D Golf. 4D Golf. 4D Golf. Let's have a look. £16. I have golf with friends. Oh, that looks pretty. Terrifying, but pretty. 4D Golf. That is how you spell it, isn't it? I'm not someone who goes on, like, fads, and, not fads, but I'm very bad at being on trend. So this could be a way of forcing me to do said trends. Like Uma Musume. What What are the kids playing these days? Oh, I know one that will make Maine happy. She'll say yes. She will. Full stop. VTuber who reads 100-year-old book about 2,000-year-old town worried about not being up to date. Shh. I'm not worried about it. I'm just saying if you guys would like to see the fads, then you can tell me to do so. Can I sort by stream library by like popular? I admit my thoughts lean to horror because there's a good number of cheap free horrors that show up. I have the jump scare mansion, which I should give another go to. Last hour to play Steam review score. What's the highest rating Steam reviews I've got? A Short Hike. That's a wonderful game. Battle Block Theatre. I should mention that to Statico. That would be a good collab game. Yeah, I thought you guys would be very pro horror. Horror's not going to be on there every month, though. I'm going to ban it some months because I don't like horror. But I'll play it for your entertainment every so often. Every 3 months or so, I think maybe I'll put it on there as a thing. But if it could play something kind of cute, creepy, that'd be. I have Angels of Death. That's like an RPG Maker horror. I like those. I care not for horror, and not because I'm a contrarian player. I mean, that's why I haven't played it with Musume. Oh, Escape Simulator. I should probably play that at some point. Boo, 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 boo. You're not spooky, normal-sized phantom. I'm too used to you. I've desensitized to you as a phantom. But yeah, I just thought I'd get an idea while you guys are here, see what you would like, what your thoughts are. RPG Maker games are fun. I did do my first, very, 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 very first Halloween game was Alice Mare. That was an RPG Maker one. Unlike Misao, is it? And Ib? I have Ib. Ib's good. That's horror. It's just a little cute as well. I'm not putting the Sonic Frontiers DLC in there. I have played A Short Hike and it was wonderful. Short game. Yeah. I will put this up tomorrow. These are good ideas. Should we do more Hollow Parade? Hollow Parade. Hollow Live games, bro. Have you ever tried One Shot? RPG Maker, not horror. Cute cat pro tag. Why am I slowing down? Hollow Parade. Hollow Cure, obviously. I have not, but it sounds very cute. I like kitties. I'm hoping I get paid soon from my job. I'm hoping I can get Game Pass again, and then we might be able to do a few more like newer things maybe. One Shot. Do you have Toad? No. Let me have a look at One Shot. World Machine Edition. One Shot is a surreal top-down puzzle adventure game with unique gameplay capabilities. You are to guide a child through a mysterious world on a mission to restore its long dead son. Ooh. That looks really cool. Ah, it's only a tenner. Oh no. OBS is struggling. How dare I want to write things down. Please don't crash. 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 Poem. I'm going to stick that on my wish list. Uh-oh. I'll write it down physically. If it's struggling, I'll write it down physically. Get the pen. One shot. Oh lordy, OBS is struggling now. But that's brought us to the end of the stream anyway, so that's okay. You can struggle. Oh, the photo one! I think I have this, actually. I think I got it in the Humble Bundle. The Ukraine bundle they did ages ago. So, I do have that one. That one can go on the list because I physically have it and it won't cost me anything. But yeah, some fun things like that. Not all of this will be on the list, I don't think. I will select a few things and then you guys can have a little vote. But you can also suggest extra things if you want, and like I said, upvote other people's stuff. Oh lord, come on OBS, come on! There we go. Oh, it's not happy, it's not happy. OBS, are you okay? OBS, are you okay? OBS is not okay. Are we okay now? Nope, still frozen.